everyone, and welcome back to What's the Plan, the podcast where we dive into the matters of our careers in the architecture and urban planning field. I'm Haley.
I'm Andrea. So Haley, what's the plan this week?
This week's plan is all about Zillow. So this episode will be the last of the year, so we thought we would end it with something fun and spicy.
Yes. So last month, Millennials Paradise, Zillow, had social media abuzz with, I guess, confusion. So let's get into it. First off, what is Zillow?
So Zillow Group Incorporated is an American online real estate marketplace company that was founded in 2006 and has a real estate database of over 110 million homes to help homeowners, buyers, sellers, renters, real estate agents, mortgage professionals, landlords, and basically anyone who has an interest in the real estate market find and share vital information about homes, real estate, and mortgages.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a very long list. You might as well just say everyone.
Yeah, so like really anyone who has a vested interest in it, but I guess if you wanted to know exactly who those people are, rewind a few seconds.
Okay, makes sense.
So Zillow's goal is to help people make smart decisions about their homes, whether it's buying a home, selling, renting, leasing, remodeling, or financing. Their mission statement is to give people the power to unlock life's next chapter, which is, right? Which is supported by their drive to empower people with knowledge and information about the real estate market, and they also have an emphasis on transparency. Zillow provides direct connections to professionals in the real estate market through listings and invaluable knowledge for owners and renters. And one of Zillow's most well-known tools is their Zestimate tool, which, as you can probably guess, is their estimation tool to determine the value of property. Zestimate uses a proprietary formula that they've created and calculates the estimate through physical attributes, tax records, and user-submitted data. Zillow makes it very clear that the Zestimate that they arrive at isn't an appraisal, but rather a starting point in determining a home's value. The accuracy of Zestimate varies by location and depends on how much information is publicly available. Because of this, Zillow has been known to provide inaccurate estimates on home evaluations, which of course leads to a lot of criticism. So now that we know a little more about what Zillow is, let's talk about what's happening with them.
So, as the title of the episode suggests, Zillow got a little overzealous with their estimates.
Dang, that's a tongue twister.
I purposely chose a description with the Z just to make it, because I like alliterate.
That was a good one.
So with their estimates, but like not only did they overestimate the price of many homes, they also overbought many homes.
What do you mean by that?
So like this is the confusing part. So for a lot of people, Zillow is more so just a website they look at like for pricing of homes or seeing what's available on the market and all that kind of stuff. Sort of just like seeing what's out there in the real estate market. But unbeknownst to many of us, especially Canadians, since we don't have Zillow, and they don't operate in Canada, they were also in the business of buying, renovating, and selling homes, as well through a process called iBuying or iBuyer. So this iBuyers is actually a big industry or a major industry that I actually didn't know about. So when I was researching, I was like, what is happening? I'm so confused. So iBuyers are tech-first companies that use algorithms to value, buy, and sell homes within a short time frame. So they sort of have like a similar underlying principle as Zillow, and they rely on the strength of big data and tech to collect data from previous sales in your neighborhood to estimate the price that they think they can sell a property, which then helps them determine a price to offer the homeowners. So as a transaction happens directly between the firm, the iBuying firm, and the homeowner, offers are typically lower than traditional buyers, but attract sellers as the long inspection process, the appraisal process, and the closing process, and realtor fees are all foregone. Like, you don't need to pay
okay.
that because it's like a direct transaction.
Right.
As well, these companies will often make these offers in all cash.
Oh, that makes it
So the sale
attractive.
can happen instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to wait for any like mortgage approvals
Yeah.
or stuff, like, or loans. So although iBuying has been around in the U.S. for almost a decade, they have been entering the Main Street market for a couple of years now. And however, they tend to operate in markets where a lot of homes are relatively new and affordable and of similar sizes. So like in cookie cutter homes, so like places or cities with a lot of like subdivisions or housing developments. So examples like this are Phoenix, Arizona, where Zillow's iBuying division primarily works in.
Oh, okay.
So in 2018, Zillow launched iBuying in Phoenix,
Right.
joining an already like bustling market where Opendoor, Redfin, and OfferPad, all these firms I've never heard of, who have apparently been buying and flipping homes there since 2014.
Interesting. Okay.
So these are like tech-based startups that are actually in the flipping of home industry.
Okay.
With Zillow getting their start in the real estate business, producing Zestimates, they thought they had iBuying in the bag. Like they thought this whole process would be easy peasy because like we know how to predict the prices of how much we could spend or we should spend and how much we can sell things for.
Yeah.
And they were right for about almost 3 years. It worked wonderfully.
Okay.
And along with the rest of the world, the algorithm couldn't predict for a pandemic.
If only.
Yeah. In March 2020, Phoenix housing market stopped.
Oh, what does that mean?
Like, as in, a lot of people were no longer able to afford homes.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people lost their jobs. And
Right.
this is not isolated to Phoenix. But however, in Phoenix, although like the housing market stopped for a bit, it actually suddenly became very busy as people decided that they wanted to move. The pandemic has led many people to kind of reassess their current living situations.
Yeah.
And to relocate. So businesses was starting to return to normal, or at least business for Zillow.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I should clarify
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so because Zillow thought like, oh, a lot of people are buying and selling their homes once again, especially moving to like Phoenix where there's a lot of suburbs, they thought like, okay, we're good to keep buying homes.
Okay.
And flipping homes and renovating homes. So Zillow kept buying homes all the way through October 2021, which is this year, even when their competitors actually slowed down.
Okay.
And the reason why their competitors slowed down was that they were alarmed by what was happening in the housing market, because all of a sudden you went from nothing to a bunch of people, like thousands of people wanting to buy homes. So there was just way too much demand to kind of keep up. And although like their competitors stopped, Zillow didn't stop because they had a business goal to buy 5,000 homes a month by 2024. So like they had a goal to buy the homes. Did they also have a goal to sell a certain amount of homes? Yeah, so I guess although like it wasn't very explicitly stated, but like this goal of buying 5,000 homes a month, they also had the intention also to sell 5,000 homes a month. So to reach that kind of capacity of being able to buy such large amounts of homes at once, and also sell it. So like they would have like sort of a relative low inventory.
Okay. So the goal wasn't to like hoard all of these homes.
No.
Okay.
The goal was to make profit by flipping the most amount of homes they want.
Right.
And they thought like 5,000 homes a month would be sufficient or would be like sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously that was not the case. And having picked off all like the low-hanging fruits, all the cheaper homes, Zillow began to take a chance on more like lower quality or more complex homes, which they didn't have a lot of data on pricing for. And coupled with like the shortage of contractors in the area, it was difficult to Zillow to flip as many homes as they intended. So as a result, the CEO, Rich Barton, states that they had an operational backlog for renovations and closings, which is a very nice way of saying that like we couldn't do the work. Yeah, so as a result, hundreds and thousands of homes are sitting idle, and they are costing them lots of money.
Wow, okay.
So in addition, a lot of these homes were being bought at a higher price than the market and sold for 5 to 7% less than forecasted. So their estimations were wrong. Like this is the first indicator that things are going bad. And next thing they knew, in November, when November rolled around and the Q3 reports were coming out,
Mm-hmm.
it was reported that Zillow realized that they lost actually $381 million
What?
in the latest quarter. So in those 3 months, they lost $381 million alone.
Wow.
And because of that, like, this is not even including the losses from previous quarters,
Mm-hmm.
which is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, they were like, we're going to cut our losses. And on November 2nd, Zillow announced that they will be shutting down their iBuying division and laying off 25% of its workforce
Wow.
over the course of a few quarters. And like 25% of the workforce is actually about 2,000 employees.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
not only does this affect like people that do want to buy homes, it also affects the people that work for the company.
Yeah.
Because 2,000 jobs is a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Zillow was that big to have like
Mm-hmm.
tens of thousands of employees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's really unfortunate to hear.
Yeah.
And to this day, Zillow still owns thousands of homes. And a number close to about 7,000 according to Business Insider.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do with it or how they plan on loading it off, it's still unknown. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's safe to say there are still a lot of people looking out. So it's just to say, like, it's just a matter of how much they're willing to sell these for
Yeah.
in order to kind of offload everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so now that we've learned about this incident, how do you feel about this?
I mean, if you've listened to our podcast long enough, you probably can guess what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of having more than one property to begin with, but to have as many properties as Zillow does, just sitting there and being idle,
Yeah.
that is so frustrating.
Yeah. Like, I agree with you. I as well feel very iffy about the whole iBuying industry.
Yeah.
So, as a result, seeing the demise of it is kind of satisfactory.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the treatment of housing as an investment is like really frustrating when like people like us, we want to get into the housing market and
Yeah.
we're not able to afford it because like housing prices are just unreasonable.
Yeah.
So like to have a company whose whole like business model are about profits from flipping homes, like in a singular city too, like they have 7,000 homes in Phoenix.
Jeez, yeah.
Imagine if they had like done this in multiple cities, like it would been, they would have caused like the housing market to crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because of this, seeing their demise, like obviously I am cheering from the sidelines, and like the meme where like there's a little girl smiling like camera and there's like a house burning in the background. That is me, and that's an accurate description of me and the demise of Zillow's iBuying division.
Wow.
So yeah, down with monopolies for me.
So with this going on, do you think they would rather keep these houses that they currently have in stock rather than sell it for a much lower price? Like, what do you think is going on? Do you know what's gonna go on, what they would choose?
Like I couldn't really find any research or what like the exact plan for it is, but like considering that they're planning to shut down this division completely, it doesn't make sense for them to keep these homes.
Yeah.
Because like they don't have a department or someone to monitor these homes. So I think eventually they will have to undersell these homes, whether it is to like one major business or one major owner or like multiple owners. That's like that is to be determined.
I hope they end up selling it to like individuals rather than another corporation.
It doesn't sound like they are.
I
Apparently
know.
there were like rumors that there was someone or a business owner that wanted to offload like 1,000 of these homes for them. But it's nothing has planned out yet. So before we even get into some of the responses in direct relation with the shuttering of Zillow's iBuying arms, I want to start off with a critique of Zillow's Zestimate from a professional appraiser. So as like you mentioned before, the Zestimates are not exactly accurate.
Yeah.
And according to Ryan Lundquist, an appraiser in Sacramento, California, the Zestimate is a really, really big hit and miss.
Okay.
And what he says by really big, it's like it is not uncommon for them to be off by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
When you look at that, considering how much a house is, like hundreds of thousands of dollars could bring you from like $50K to $60K.
Yeah. Wow.
And like this inaccuracy occurs since like the more data Zillow has on a home and a market, the more accurate of a prediction they can provide.
Yeah.
So like therefore like when they'll be like most likely be closer to the actual value in a neighborhood where Zillow has helped sell 10 plus homes or I've seen other companies sell 10 plus homes versus a town where they only have done that once.
Yeah, okay.
So like Zillow only really works if there's a lot of data where you live, and for that typically is like in a major city.
A lot of previous Zillow specific
data.
Yeah.
Yes. So like not where they're trying to like start up the market for. Yeah. So that being said, it's not really a surprise that like Zillow was able to fail so spectacularly when it comes to actually buying and selling homes themselves. And as for their iBuying sector, there's a lot of outspoken critics of Zillow that believed that the failure was inevitable. Like according to Sean Gocher, a Nevada-based realtor, he states that Zillow manipulates the housing market.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, which I come to realize, like, yeah, that's very, very true. Like, he states that, like, Phoenix looks like a test of how much market share that they can acquire, control, and decide what to do. Because, like, I didn't really, like, think about that at first, but, like, that's true. When a company holds that many properties, it's like, they can be like, okay, I hold majority of the share, and now because of that, like, I'm going to say there will be a 10% increase. And no one can, like, counter that.
Yeah.
Because, there was no opponent.
Yeah.
They are the only people in charge. So, that being said, only someone in control of the supply can predict the price. And they seem to have made an attempt in gaining control of that supply. Yeah.
Wow. So, that's, I mean, yeah, I guess that's pretty satisfying. Like, their plan to be able to overpower the housing market obviously didn't work out.
Yeah.
Which is really good, but it also sucks that the ability for such a big corporation to have this power over the housing market, the fact that it's a thing and it's possible is so scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, like, I don't know about you, like, recently there was in the news that, like, iBuying is beginning to start up in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, there is actually, I forget the name of it, but they were, basically planning to give you, I guess, a share of a house for, I say, like, $50K.
Okay.
In order to allow you to sort of own partially of a house. Sort of like how, you know, when you do, like, stocks, you can do fractional trading. Like, if you don't have enough money to buy a full stock, something like Wealthsimple will give you, like, 25% of the share, or however much you can afford. So, in a way, you still have some ownership, but not full ownership. So, like, someone like that is coming to Canada, and, like, their business model is sort of based also on iBuying.
So, wait, so who would have the other, like, who would own the other shares?
So, this startup company would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so as much as we, like, despise the iBuying business model, for the companies, investors, and etc., like, people involved in the actual operations of it, it's not all flawed.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, Zillow only failed because it reached beyond the bounds of its algorithm ability. They refused to stop when all their competitors did. Yeah. And, like, the algorithm obviously couldn't calculate for the pandemic, and they don't modify the procedure to account for it. So, eventually, like, apparently we'll all be relying on computers and code to filter and optimize our everyday lives. Yeah. So, Matt Levine of Bloomberg suggests that, like, a sprinkle of human verification should always be included to prevent wrong estimates. Because, like, instead of pressing a button and selling your house for X price, like, you press a button and sell your house for X price pending someone driving out there and making sure that, like, there's nothing wrong with it, like, if your house doesn't smell weird. That is a thing for a lot of people. If the house doesn't smell right, they won't buy it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if, like, the foundation doesn't look right, because, you know,
I think that would be a more important factor.
Yeah, the structure of the bones of the house doesn't actually work, because a photo cannot really tell.
Right, yeah.
So, like, therefore, it's, like, necessary to have, like, someone inspect the house in order to approve the estimate. Yeah. So, that being said, it is possible for computers to accurately price homes, but unfortunately, it is impossible for them to account for every little quirk that makes a house unique. So, like, just a heads up for, like, anyone that is looking to sell or purchase a home, wherever you are out there in the world, make sure you double check who, but most importantly, how the price is being determined.
For sure. So learning about Zillow's overzealous Zestimates was the plan for now. Listen to our next episode to continue figuring out with us.
Yeah. Thanks for following along to this episode. If you liked it, please give us a like, review, and subscribe for more. Until then, follow us on Instagram at What's the Plan Podcast for what the next plan is.